So I told you the story about this wonderful woman in Boston. She said, I'm not going to take food stamps for my pies. This is a joke. We're making a joke out of the taxpayers' money. So I called, and I reached this nice lady. Andrea Taber. Do you pronounce your name Taber?
Yes, I do.
Andrea Taber. Ever So Humble Pies. Is that your company?
That's it, yep.
So you're in Boston?
Well, we're just south of Boston. We're in East Walpole, Massachusetts.
East Walpole?
Yep, we're just down the street from where the New England Patriots play. They play in the next town over in Foxborough.
Well, we don't like the New England Patriots where I'm going. Do you think we do? We don't like them at all.
I know. We have a love-hate relationship with them, too.
Well, we don't like them because they win. Do you sell whoopie pies to the Patriots? Do you sell whoopie pies to the Patriots?
No, I don't. We don't sell anything up there. And we should be, but it's kind of tough to get into those kind of outfits. There's all kinds of union contracts and commissaries and people that are in there.
Didn't Tom Brady get in trouble for whoopie pies or something? He had some sort of a scandal a few years ago.
Oh, boy. Yeah. I was in a wonderful farmer's market. I'm sure you have farmer's markets down there where you are, and they're a great venue for people to come and get all kinds of fresh local produce and
pies.
Products and pies. We bring our fruit pies and our whoopie pies and cookies and tea breads to the market.
Wait, hold on, Andrea. Hold on. You don't just lightly gloss over this. Let's talk about the products you bring in. You mentioned tea breads.
Yes. We make zucchini bread, blueberry bread, apple bread, peach bread.
I need a cigarette.
You could sit down with a cup of tea, cut a slice of this, slather it up with some butter, and sit on the porch and cut it. Doesn't that sound good?
Stop. I'm a married man. You bring all that to the farmer's market?
We sure do.
You make all that lovingly with your little hands?
Everything from scratch by hand.
Oh, okay.
We buy most of our products from local farmers. So we're supporting local farms. All of our eggs come from a local farmer who's organic and his chickens are cage-free. We buy locally produced milk, honey. All the cranberries, the apples, the peaches, the squash and pumpkins we use are all locally grown.
You know something, Andrea? My allergist told me years ago that eating local honey would help me for my allergies. And I laughed and I said, well, does it matter if it's not local? Like jokingly, and he said, yeah, it matters a lot because you're building immunities to the local pollen process here in your own community. Local honey is like a really big deal for.
That's absolutely right. Yep.
Oh. Okay, so walk me through how you make. What's your best? Is the whoopie pie your best? What is your signature best pastry you make?
Pie, fruit pie. Actually, the funny thing is, we're a frozen pie company because I decided long ago, if I bake the pie for you, you're missing out on one of the best parts of having a home-style pie because all those great smells are happening in my bakery, not in your kitchen. Right. So we decided, for two reasons actually, that was one of them, let people bake them at home, and that way they get the best experience. They get a fresh pie when they want it. It hasn't been baked yet. You're putting it in the oven, and you get a nice warm pie, comes out of the oven. You can glom on the ice cream, and you can tell everybody you baked it yourself because you did. The other reason was once you bake a pie, the clock is ticking on it. Right. And it isn't going to take long for the, osmosis to take over, and you got that nice crispy crust married to that wet fruit, and then you got, after a few days, it's not the same animal.
The word part has an R in it, right? So
not up here, it doesn't.
So what is the best fruit pie? What is the pie that is the best?
Our signature pie is our jumbleberry. It's strawberries, blueberries, cranberries, and oranges. We sell more of that than anything.
That sounds like, at the end of the night at the bar when they take all the stuff they've scooped off and you buy that as a cheap drink. So how is it encased? How do you get the top of the pie? How do you encase it so that when I take it home, I can bake it? I mean, usually you just get the crust and then the filler. You've already done all of that for me?
Yes, we have made a complete pie. Bottom crust, all the fruit filling in the middle. Top crust, we've crimped the edges. We've cut out a little heart design, and then we freeze it. And we package it. And you take it home in a nice enclosed container with baking instructions. It goes right from the freezer to the oven. Couldn't be easier.
How long do I have to bake it?
If you get a 10-inch pie, it takes about an hour and 15 minutes. An 8-inch pie takes about an hour. And then we have these little cutie pies. They're 5 inches, and they only take about 40 minutes. And the smells are wonderful. And they're bubbling around the edges, and they're golden brown on top.
Oh. Andrea, you are a food porn seductress. How long have you been making pies?
That is high praise. How long have I been doing this?
No, if you knew what a food addict I am, you would realize I am something of an aficionado in food porn.
Ooh.
How long have you been making pies?
I was blessed with a stay-at-home mom, so I've been making pies since I was 5. As soon as I was able to reach over the counter, she had a rolling pin in my hand.
Dang it, counter's got an R in it. So how many pies do you how many pies do you make a day?
As many as we have to. That's generally what I tell people. Some days it's 10, some days it's 1,000.
I bet it's 1,000 today.
Yeah, and then some. Yeah, we have 6,500 square feet of production space in this building. We are also.
So who is Liz? When I called, Liz picked up. Who is that?
Liz is one of the valiant souls that has been here helping me to deal with the wonderful people that have been coming through this door to support us since that story broke.
How many pies a day?
Well, we could make 10, we could make 1,000, whatever.
How do you decide? You decide based on the farmer's market?
We have a lot of wholesale accounts, and we know what we can sell at the farmers markets. So that's 3 days a week. We do a certain amount for them, and then we have a lot of farms that we bake for, and farms that we sell frozen to. They bake them off.
Would it kill you to put an R in some of these letters, some of these words? Are you married, Andrea?
Yes, I am, darling.
How many years? You can call me darling anytime. How many years?
The first time or the second time?
Whatever.
Well, right now, 12 years. He's a wonderful man. First time, 13 years. He was a great guy, too.
Well, what happened there?
We were just very different people. We're great friends now. We had 2 wonderful kids together, and they work here making pies. So we all get along swimmingly. We just would have always been better off if we'd remained friends and never took it to the marriage level. So we recognize that. And actually, he's remarried, and his stepson works for me.
Oh,
so
Andrea,
it's
so awesome. You're
very,
almost kind of a forward woman for your time.
I don't know about that.
So what do your kids think when they pick up when they search the internet and their mom is in the Daily Mail, an English paper?
Well, an English paper? What do you mean?
Yeah, you're in the Daily Mail, the Mail Online.
Oh, my kids I listen to talk radio in here all day long, and my kids have been listening to me rant about things for years. And to see that this issue has grown wings the way it has is no surprise to them. They're extremely proud of me, holding my ground on this. But they know the kind of person I am. They know how I've raised them. They know how my parents raised me. So it just comes natural to us. You do, like you said in the intro, you stand up, you do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And I'm very, very concerned about the direction our country is going in. And if they want to take it in that direction, they're not going to do it without a fight.
Oh, Andrea, people like you.
It's the wrong way to go. And, Thomas Jefferson said, in matters of principle, stand like a rock. And that's how I live my life.
Wait a minute. You bake pies and quote Thomas Jefferson? You are the total package. All right, so Andrea Taber is our guest. Story is everywhere. Headline, Massachusetts baker refuses to accept welfare for treats. So tell us what happened, your dispute with the Braintree Farmers Market.
Yes. Before I say anything, the Braintree Farmers Market is wonderful, and I love all the people there and the management. They decided this year they were going to try this program where they would scan EBT cards. They would take whatever dollar amount off the card that the customer wanted, give them $1 tokens in that amount, and then the customer would take those tokens to the booths and buy products with it. At the end of the day, the vendors would turn the tokens in, and then a week later get a check from the Braintree management for those purchases. I said, well, that's all well and good for the people selling fruits and vegetables and meat and cheese and eggs, but not here. I'm selling gourmet desserts. And if people are so destitute that they need taxpayer money just to put food on their tables, and those dollars should not be squandered on dessert. They should be spending it on nutritious, wholesome food. So I'm going to exercise my option to bow out because you said it was optional. Well, they said it was optional, but then there was a lot of pressure. You're the only one who hasn't joined. You got to sign the paper. You got to get on with the program. We want everybody on board. We have to work something out. And I said, what are we talking about here? Why is this such a big deal? First, they're telling me, well, it's just a small amount of people. I don't know what all the fuss is about. And I said, well, I don't care if it's one person and $1. It's a taxpayer-funded program, and this is an inappropriate use of taxpayers' hard-earned money. I don't want it squandered. I'm not in a position to turn away sales by any means, but I don't think the taxpayers should be footing the bill for people's desserts. It's as plain and simple as that.
And so how did it go from that little disagreement to national news?
I saw on Fox News, we have a rep here in Massachusetts, a brand new freshman rep, Representative Shauna O'Connell. She's out of Taunton, and she is working with the legislature to try and put stricter parameters on this EBT program here in Massachusetts and really clearly define and restrict what this money can be used for. I saw her being interviewed on Fox News, and I said, I got to call her and give her my support, because if our politicians that are trying to do the right thing don't know we're behind them, then they don't know how much support they truly have. So I called her to tell her I was in her corner. I told her what was happening to me, and she thought that, this was a pretty bold move to take a stand. And I said, well, not really. It's just the right thing to do. You're trying to do the right thing, and I'm trying to do it too, and maybe we can support each other. She asked me if I'd be willing to talk to a Boston Herald reporter that has done a lot of reporting on this issue for her. I had no idea my face would be on the front page of the Boston Herald. I mean, that's usually reserved for people in handcuffs or politicians or,
not pie makers.
not whoopie pies. So that's how it happened. And then my email imploded. My phone caught fire. I mean, it's unbelievable. And I have to tell you, I have been so buoyed by the not millions, it feels like millions, hundreds of Americans that have called me to say, hold your ground, you're doing the right thing, we're behind you. Finally, somebody's saying what we've all been talking about, you speak for us. So it just kind of put a name and a face to what so many Americans we're already there. And I just happened to say it out loud to a reporter. And the rest is history.
The rest, as they say, you're the next version of Chick-fil-A.
That's what I've been told, yeah. That's a little scary.
So how many orders have come in today?
Well, the funny thing, we don't even take orders. We're just a small company here. We sell them frozen out of my retail store. We haven't been taking orders to ship them. People are coming in and buying whatever we have and walking out with it. I'm completely out of whoopie pies. I was out of whoopie pies 2 hours after the paper came out.
So if I try to order online, you won't ship me one?
Well, in order to ship it, I have to have dry ice, an insulated container, and a FedEx or a UPS account. We used to do it, but it was so expensive. And I didn't have room to put all the containers in, and I didn't have the money to pay up front to get all those containers in here either.
Hold on, dear. I want to talk to you off air. You might want to think about doing that, because you have a whole country of new fans. More Michael Berry Show coming up.
Michael